Brightest blessings, everyone. Psychic medium Elizabeth Grove, the Paranormal Priestess. Welcome to the Paranormal Priestess YouTube channel, and thank you so much for being here. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Elizabeth. I am a medium, divine channeler, remote spirit extractor, white witch, and divine alchemist, and I also happen to be a divine twin flame on the path to reunion. And I first just want to extend my thanks to all of you who have really benefited from this channel. Thank you so much for sharing your comments, your synchronicities. Thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that way you don't miss anything. And for those of you who have written really wonderful testimonials lately, you've also emailed me, thank you so very much. It means so much to the work that I do, honoring what I'm providing to you, as well as my time and energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will be putting up even more of those testimonials. They're always really touching to read because it always just lets me know that the services that I provide are really impacting people in such a positive way. The channeling, the guidance, what we go through in detail within our hour sessions. I love the fact that you're letting me know that it's providing so much clarity, so much peace, so much empowerment, and that's what a lot of these testimonials are saying, and it's always very emotional to read them, and I don't take any of it for granted. And for those of you who are benefiting from the new session, the light language healing session, thank you for letting me know about that as well. I also do spirit extracting work, and for all my services, I just do have to check in with my team and just make sure that I'm guided to work with you if it's a vibrational match. But again, thank you from the bottom of my heart and soul for really seeing me and for really just valuing what it is that I do. And it's wonderful, being in your mission, being on purpose, right? Living on purpose, being in your purpose is not always easy, but it's so worth it. It truly is worth it for the people that I have been able to help. It's worth it for each and every one of you. So thank you. Mercury, by the way, has gone direct, so I'm sure everyone's very happy about that. I know I am. It's been very, very rough. I've gotten a lot of emails from people wanting to have reading sessions because they have been in pain, they've been struggling. So many, even people that have been really in the trust, really in the faith, been doing so well, have been like, wow, everything has just, kind of turned, backward, when that's exactly what Mercury has done. Mercury always resurges, or reemerges all of that pain, the shadow self, and it brings up those other layers, and it's always very difficult to go back into the shadow self, and a lot of times we then at that time we identify with the shadow self, we operate from the shadow self, and everything looks dark, everything looks negative, everything's perceived that way, until we are able to actually heal through those things by feeling those emotions and understanding the thought patterns, beliefs, and stories. And then we're able to level up. And the leveling up just feels amazing. It feels so much lighter. It feels exciting. We understand that miracles are all around us and that all possibilities are open to us. So, there is definitely a rhyme and a reason from Mercury retrograde, and certainly a lot that is helping us, helping the collective on the journeys that we're on. But I know that it's been very difficult, and, my heart goes out to each and every one of you who have really had to get through the days, with having to go through that pain and navigate it and really sit with it. And, it's just been such an honor to, be able to support you with it. So thank you, and blessings and namaste to all of you. This video is a request, and I think it's a really important one. It's a really timely one, too. I did a video that was sort of similar to this, but we're going to go more into depth. If you are an advanced soul, which chances are you probably are, and if you're a twin flame, this is going to be really focusing on the masculine energies and really understanding patriarchal wounding, and also about supporting the divine masculine, supporting the rise of the divine masculine. From what I understand and a couple of things that I've come across out there is that there tends to be angers and resentment towards the masculine side from the feminine. Not all the time, but a lot of times. And a lot of times the masculine is seen in this negative light and is perceived as the problem, or the fact that, oh, the masculine is just not, this is one I hear all the time out there from clients. Why does the feminine have to do all the work? Why does the feminine have to go through all of this pain? Why isn't the masculine doing anything? And let me tell you, it couldn't be any further from the actual truth. That's just navigating the pain, going through the shadow when it's perceived in that way. The masculines are not the problem. The real issues at hand are the programming. The issues at hand are the conditioning, the programming, and really believing in that ego mind. Okay, this comes down to history, this comes down to ancestral lines, and we're going to talk about this. But if I can really encourage all the feminine out there to really hold space for the masculines, really hold space for your masculine partner, really see them for their true soul as best as you can, understand that their energy is absolute, pure, unconditional love and does love you and is always connected to you. This is the way to go. Hold space for them. Be patient. Be compassionate. This is what's going to help, rather than being in resistance and pushing them away and saying, oh, I don't care about you. I'm moving on. Don't care. You've chosen someone else. You're having a child with someone else. You're in a marriage with someone else. I don't care about you anymore. You've ruined my life. And all of those pain. That's pain that's speaking. That's the pain that is being, the main thing that you're going through with that. We really need to support the masculine, okay, and understand that it's about the polarity and the balance of that polarity. It's not one versus the other. The feminine's better than the masculine. The feminine's above the masculine. Because any way you look at that, there's no harmony there. There's no union there. There's no meeting, in the middle there at all. And we want that union, right? We're here to achieve union within. And therefore, it also will bring union within the physical. And it's the masculine and feminine within, it's the elements within, it's the energies within, it's the harmonization, it's the unity of all energies and all elements. And this is the way that it brings true peace, true divine sovereignty, true realization, and gives us the ability to be the best creator and manifestors. So no more of the bashing of the masculine. It's not helpful in any way. So much of that comes from bitterness, resentfulness, holding on to betrayals, holding on to all of what the divine, well, not divine masculine, in that case toxic masculine, all of the toxic masculine and what has transpired between the two, and having not been healed from that. So, that's the real truth of that. We also have to realize, if you're a feminine watching this video, that we have our own masculine energy, and it's the healing of our own masculine energy, our own patriarchal wounds as well. So it's, yes, we have the divine masculine counterpart, but it's also our masculine, our bloodline, our patriarchal line, right? And everything that has been conditioned throughout history. So we always relate to the masculine energy too, because we have both, and your masculine counterpart also has both. So I really come from, the standpoint of we really need to hold space from the masculine no matter what, and that whatever is going on out there, whatever toxicity they're going through, whatever distortions they're going through, that we could still look at them through pure and loving eyes. And it's not to accept abuse from them in the physical. It's not to allow that toxicity into our physical life, and not uphold our own values and our own worth. So that's when healthy boundaries comes in, and yet still holding the space. But it's for us to, hold the space, while the transformations are happening. So in the cases of where these distortions are really being played out in the physical arena, it's for the feminine to understand that there's transformation taking place, and transformation is always very difficult. Transformation, change, transition, always very difficult because it always involves going toe to toe with the shadow and feeling the shadow, and having those thoughts of the shadow come up, and us being able to really bring unconditional love to that shadow and allow for that shadow, so that way we can integrate that shadow, right? It's about integration of that shadow rather than in resistance of it. And I had done a video recently on that. So let's talk about some of the ways in which the masculine has been distorted throughout history, some of the main ways. And if you are a masculine, I hope this is going to help clarify what you've been going through, the craziness that you've been going through, the memories that have been coming up for you, the emotions that have been coming up for you, and the things that you're not resonating with anymore, and the people you're not resonating with anymore. If you're a feminine and watching this, please try your best to relate to your masculine side, your inward masculine, your own inward wounded masculine. And remember that the healing that's going on between the masculine and feminine, it's healing the ancestral lines. It's healing throughout history. And we are seeing so much of the masculine distortions playing out in the political arena, playing out in all different fields. And it's really important to understand that as we're going through the dark times of the earth, that the feminine heart, the feminine unconditional love is being brought back to the planet to really bring that balance. Again, everything comes down to balance, guys. It truly does, the balance and the harmony. So not only is this happening within individuals on the individual level, but it's happening on the collective scale too, as you can see from all the violence that's out there, even through like shows. Everything's very, very violent. Everything's very, very tense. Everyone's at each other's throats. Everyone's out to get, another person. People are being exposed for what they really are. There's so much of the, purging that's happening also, on a larger scale. And what we're going through on a personal scale is all connected to that. So let's talk about hunter and gatherer, okay, and how this has been like the first way in which masculine has been programmed. So it's, the I must provide. I must be able to provide security for family, security for the tribe. I need to be tribe leader, right? There was that expectation there right from the beginning, and burden, if you will, that I must be able to accumulate, bring home, go out and hunt, go out and do whatever I need to find in order to build shelter. I need to be that rock for my family, that rock for my tribe. It's up to me to create security. It's up to me to keep my family safe and my tribe safe. So that right away is that programming of, the expectation and what the masculine has had to carry through all of history there. So for some of you who are having masculines who are seemingly, stuck in karmic situations, but not really stuck, but if it seems as though they're stuck and they're very committed to their karmic situation, if they had a family committed to that situation, and it's very hard for them to leave that situation. A lot of that programming has to do with the fact that they're very committed to doing the right thing and being that provider and upholding their responsibility. Again, think hunter and gatherer, and their respect and their value as a man who's able to provide these things, these survival basic needs. Okay, so this is not saying at all that the situation of the karmic situations, anything is impossible in any way. Because remember, there's no separation. You are connected to your beloved is connected to you. You are one. You're the same soul in two bodies. You are mirrors of each other. So, remember that as you heal your own masculine wounds and patriarchal wounding, this will also translate to them being conscious of these things and healing them. But yeah, hunter and gatherer is another of those things. There's so much about accumulation, right? A masculine is able to be valued, able to be respected as a man by what they're able to accumulate, right? So it's been based on material world a lot of times, and being able to showcase to the world, be respected, show other men as well. Hey, I'm a man. I'm able to provide material needs. I'm able to provide basic needs. I'm able to show. This is what I have to show, which demonstrates that I have success, I am successful, that I have everything under control, and that I should be valued as a powerful man because I have this accumulation. So it's been based off of that, and hasn't been based off of anything that is about, the feminine emotion, feminine feeling, being within the heart space and such and such. And for a lot of masculines, I have to say, and this comes up in readings, some masculines is very overboard. It's very much too material, or too much about trying to control, too much about showing off, too much about, see, look at my life, this is what I have the fancy car, I have the house, I have the boat, I have the vacations, I have a woman, I have a bunch of women, we'll talk about that. And it's like looking for that respect and that value and that worth outside of oneself, which never provides the fulfillment. The true worth and the true value is how you relate to yourself. It's what you can gather from the person that you are, the soul that you are, the heart of you, the soul, the spirit of you. But throughout history, so much of that has been distorted, and the feminine energy has been repressed within the masculine, and has caused distorted masculine, toxic masculine to take over, right, where it's been the ego. But demonstrating the worth and value in the outside way, earth elements, distortions of success. This might be something that your masculine is facing right now, and it may come off to you if you are a feminine watching this, that the things are impossible. They're not. If you are a masculine watching this, then you're understanding what I'm meaning, and I'm talking right to you. That you're understanding what's not fulfilling you anymore, and that this is not enough, and you're not feeling your value, and you're not feeling your worth from this, and maybe you thought you did before, but now everything's changing for you. Your whole perspective of yourself and the world is changing, and that's a good thing. It's a difficult thing, but it's a good thing, because you are going to become a lot more balanced, and you are going to be able to connect with your heart space where the true power lies. Okay? The warrior. I must fight and display my power, right? Aggression. My aggressive nature must win over my opponent, over my enemy. I must earn respect through competition. Okay, this is another one, the programming that's been throughout history. I must display my power through my physical physique and my endurance and my performance. And that, okay, now I'm respected and valued as a man, right? The warrior. Coming forth, with conflict. Every time we're fighting, we're in conflict, we're in resistance, but displaying the power in that sort of way where it's all based on that, that very aggressive nature, and winning over the enemy in that sort of way. But it's not the inward warrior or the peaceful warrior, right? It's not the peaceful warrior. It's not the warrior that's heart-based. It's the warrior that's based off of the ego, right? It still comes down to, survival there as well, right? And all the wars. But the wounded warrior is something that would be going on too for a lot of the masculines there, right? Having to fight the good fight, always having to fight for what it is that you feel that, you deserve. Always fighting, always fighting, always fighting. And, always trying to prove your worth through, whatever you can display as that warrior nature. But we have to understand it's a distorted definition of warrior there, and if you are experiencing this feminine within you, that you've always come from a place of fighting yourself or fighting others or needing to prove that you're tough, tough. I have to tough it out. I have to push through this. I need to face my fears without working through the fears, but facing my fears. I have to win at all costs. This is all conflict. It's all definitely demonstrates conflict in the wounded warrior there. And so I want you to understand that, and that is something that could be going on that's being healed too. Distorted strength and repression of emotions. Now this we know is that throughout history, it has not been the acceptable thing for masculines to cry, to show emotion, anything of that nature. Men have been respected for all the other things that I have mentioned, but when it comes to showing tears or showing emotion, it's always been viewed as a weakness, as a vulnerability. And when we're talking about survival, that would be taken as I can be defeated, right? Showing emotion, I could be defeated. It's not a man to show emotion, right? Think about like it in the bullying sense, if a masculine shows any type of tears or shows any kind of weakness, this could result in, bullying, being physically assaulted, and that sort of thing. It's always about, toughen up, push through this, don't show emotion, because if they see you cry, then this is going to be taken as a sign of weakness and not strength, and this could get you in a lot of trouble, right? And you're not valued as a man, you're not respected as a man, and the word gets around, right? For masculines who are watching this, you know what I'm talking about. If you have been bullied, you know what I'm talking about. If you've been in like the armed services, things like that, you know what I'm talking about. Even like throughout like maybe even sports or something like that, where it's been very masculine driven, all these things, competition, you know what I'm talking about. It just has not been accepted for men to show their emotion. But see, things are changing now where masculine is being supported, being guided to connect with their emotions, connect with what has been repressed inside of there, which is never healthy and never brings anything beautiful in the physical. Anytime we're repressing our true emotions, we're hurting inside, we're wounded inside. It's very normal to connect with our emotions, man or woman. It's actually stronger to connect with your emotions than not to connect with your emotions. And it really is a beautiful thing when men cry. It really is a beautiful thing when men can understand their emotions, because their true strength comes from, again, we said their heart. The true strength comes from being able to connect honestly and raw with the emotions, and be able to heal and being able to come out of density into this higher vibration where there finally the fulfillment has a possibility of attracting, right? We can, we feel fulfilled, but we're able to feel that fulfillment where we're able to attract is what I mean. We're able to attract higher vibrational people, higher vibrational situations, opportunities, and such and such. So yeah, it's really been put on the men that it's not good to cry, and that it makes you less of a man to cry, and this is just completely wrong. And men haven't been comfortable with the emotional side. It's not their comfort zone because of the ancestral programming, society's programming, history's programming of what a man should be and what a man should not be. And this is all changing now to bring things into balance as the heart awakening keeps unfolding. Let's talking about lovemaking versus sexual gratification. This is a big one too for people. So there are some masculines out there. Again, it comes down to displaying like these false archetypes and these false identities. And, that's we're going to talk about that in a minute, but the lovemaking versus the sexual gratification. Yeah, it has been throughout history that women can't separate their sex and emotions usually. They're usually together, where masculine are able to separate the two. It's now changing here, and for some masculines who are still in their distorted energy and feel like, to have a lot of women, and that they can never have enough, and it's a constant, maybe even addiction to a sexual gratification or a false turn on is what it would really be. This is certainly an issue, and it's a repression of their emotional side. It's a closing down of their heart chakra. For many of those men, what I've come to learn through channeling is that there's been also, issues with the mom. There's also been issues where there's been abandonment or neglect there, where the first feminine energy, which is meant to be the unconditional love between a mother and a son, if that hasn't been there, then it's like the masculine had absolutely no example of unconditional love whatsoever. And so it's even easier to try to search for that, through instant gratification with women, on a lust level. But lovemaking, sacred lovemaking, is now what's being opened up within your masculine, or you masculine opening up within you, where you're understanding that the true gratification, not the false turn on, the true gratification comes from deeply emotionally connecting, with a feminine, and that connection itself is what really is a true arousing factor, and that connection really just brings us to God, to Goddess, to Source, and becomes a sacred lovemaking experience and connecting between two souls and their physical vessels, rather than a conquest, rather than trying to display how many women you've been with, and so other men respect you, or try to fill a void in which, there's really a wound there. So this is what's changing too, and it's really important to understand that. For masculines who have been getting gratification, they feel, or fulfillment from having, the lust sex, the low-grade sex, again, please keep in mind it's a false turn-on there, and it's not at all in this beautiful connective way. And really, that's what masculine does truly desire, but maybe doesn't think they deserve or they're worthy of. Right? There's the worth and the value, and that's really important to be able to understand that for yourself, your own value and your own worth. Okay, but this could be that as well. So, the false identities, the false archetypes that are created, maybe be that Superman archetype. I have everything under control. I can take care of everything. I want to show the world that everything is perfect, but yet underneath you're hurting. These types of false identities become created. The mind thinks that, that's the identity. That's the identity, like the ego, but it's not the true identity of the soul. It's just, illusionary programming and conditioning, false beliefs of self-limited stories that aren't the authentic, pure soul. So feminine, if you're being triggered by this, please realize it for what it is, because that's what it is. It's not truly your masculine. It's a bunch of illusionary programmings that go back from history. Okay, I want you to understand that. Yes, men have been more in their logical. Yes, men have been more in their analytical. Many times distortions and imbalances having to do with these. And they have been expected and prized as mental problem solvers, figuring out things, sciences, mathematics, all that sort of thing. And there are a lot about that are, they're more connected to action, more connected to mind. Think air and fire. So it could be over analytical. It could be overthinking, over controlling, over aggressive. It could be overworking. It could be just overdoing it in every way, where the masculine's not giving themselves a rest. They're not tuning into what they're feeling. They're not paying attention to their intuition or their gut. It's not something that they're comfortable with or haven't discovered. Very projective, but not receptive of what they're feeling. Okay, this is other distortions. It's been programmed through society and through history again. Attempts to control the outside world in order for fulfillment to happen for themselves. But it has to happen from the inside first, inside out. Okay? Push, 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 push. Eventually, you're going to break at some point. So masculine, if this is you, pay attention there. But these are just some of the things, that I wanted to go through. I know this video is a bit on the longer side, but I'm going to wrap it up to say that, once again, I want to end it with this, that it's time to really support the masculine side and to realize that patriarchal wound healing is happening now, both within the feminine and also with the masculine counterpart too. And that we have a responsibility we have decided upon as twin flames, as advanced souls, to heal our ancestral lines where we're not carrying these limitations forward anymore. We're not carrying this because nowadays it's the ascension times. It's all about now dropping into the heart space and understanding where the true power and true identity is. It's within the heart. It's within that pure soul. It's about being authentic. It's about being raw. It's about feeling our emotions. It's about, paying attention to our intuition and honoring our intuition. It's about surrendering. And it's not putting down the other things. It's just realizing the balance of all of it and working towards achieving balance and alignment. I hope that this has really shed light on some of the things that may be happening, and for you to know that everything is going in the right direction and you're certainly supported. And if you're looking for some support with some of these things that we talked about, Archangel Michael will absolutely help with healing these patriarchal wounds, since he's the most masculine of all the archangels, and he will help cut free from fears and from illusionary belief systems and programming and all of that. It would be great to work with Archangel Michael. If you need some extra help, of course, I'm here, theparanormalpriestess.com. Check in with me. I'll check to see if we are a vibrational match, if I'm guided to do a reading guidance session with you, and if so, then let's go ahead and do it. And it can help you to navigate what is coming up, so that way you can better work with it, so you can move forward. Thank you so much for being here on this video. I hope this helped. And remember, from the heart of the darkness is born the light. Brightest blessings, and thank you everyone, and see you soon.